This is way louder.
Some of you guys I know are interested in wait times and the new, the rules and everything.
If you're buying your first suppressor and you like the Suppress 22s, go with the...
Folks, what's going on? Michael back with another awesome episode. Today we're talking all about suppressors and my new suppressor, and we're going to put it against my old suppressor, and we're going to see what kind of results we get. This is the first suppressor I bought. This is a Polonium 30 Otter Creek's Lab. It's a 30 cal suppressor, good for 7.62, 300 Win Mag, 7mm, all that good stuff. And what I originally put it on and used it on was my 6.5 Creedmoor, and it really quieted it down. I could shoot the 6.5 Creedmoor without any ear protection. It was fine, this and that. And then I had a little fun with it on my Mark IV 22 Ruger. This gun with this suppressor on it is amazingly quiet. Basically, all you're hearing is the bolt racking back and forth, and then you'll hear the report of the bullet. Like, there's no explosion. It's kind of wild. If you guys haven't seen those videos, check them out. I did a couple videos on it. We posted up here in the corner. The issue with this suppressor is it's quite heavy. I want to say it's 14 or 15 ounces. We're going to weigh them here in a minute and compare the two. So it was really heavy being on the end of the 22. And in the back of my mind, I always thought that, I wanted to get a dedicated 22 suppressor for this host. Anyways, I wanted to get a 22 suppressor, and I wanted to get a new suppressor anyways, just so I could say I got a suppressor and didn't have to pay the tax stamp. Today's video, we're going to be shooting this brand new Lone Star silencer out of Texas. This is the Scoundrel, and this is their offering for the 22 caliber pistols and rifles, and it's also good for 5.7. You can't shoot 2.23 or 5.56 through this, but you can shoot 5.7, and which is kind of irrelevant because I can shoot 2.23 and 5.56 through this, which I have before. Now, one thing I'm really curious about, and you guys can post down in the comments before we get out to the range right now, what's going to be quieter? Will there be a sound difference? Because what we're doing here is we have a 30 cal inside diameter, or a inside diameter that is designed for a 30 cal bullet to travel through. But we also have a bigger can. It's there's larger circumference. The length is bigger. There possibly could be more baffles in it. I'm not 100% sure. So this seems like there's a lot more working to suppress the sound, but at the same time, it's not designed for the caliber. So there's a lot leaking out, one could say, right? Whereas this one, we're not going to have any leak out. That's the term. But it's smaller, smaller diameter, smaller in length, quite possibly doesn't have the baffles that it has in there. So this is, you can disassemble this, which is pretty cool, which this one is not disassembled, or this one's not designed to disassemble, but you can put it in those cleaners or whatever and soak it or whatever. This one comes completely apart. Show a little quick picture. I don't want to do that on film here. And you can see how it comes apart in 3 parts and fully can disassemble it to clean it. Going back to the weight, this is a titanium suppressor, so it's super light, especially when you compare it to this one. So when you put it on this 22 Mark IV, it really balances the gun way better than what this was doing. So let's see here what we get. There we go. There's ounces for all you Americans. America, baby. 3.9 ounces. 3.9. This says 16 and a half. So this is right at a pound, like I was saying. And this is a quarter of that. So that's going to be awesome. Some of you guys I know are interested in wait times and the new, the rules and everything. And right out of the gate, I took way less time to get the new one with all this rush than it did to get this one. So back last summer, I submitted all my paperwork, and it took approximately 2 weeks to get approval through the ATF. And they say they average about 2,000 applicants a day or whatever, submittals a day on an average day, in 2025. And then we go to 2026, where on the first day, I believe they had 120 submittals. And I think 80,000 of those were Form 4s, which was suppressor forms. So on the first day, I got my paperwork submitted on Saturday, which I believe was the 3rd or something, 2nd or 3rd. I don't know. You can look on a calendar if you're that interested. And then the following Tuesday evening, I got approval for it. So this is kind of weird because it's kind of like when I did the video about doing the fast background checks. and how people were just getting, they were getting background checks done without instant approvals, like within 15 minutes versus being a day or two, like it was before. And I just have to ask the question, like, what did you change? If you guys could do them that fast before or after, like, what was the hiccup before? I don't know. I often wonder about that. How you could, your submittals go up 500%, and then your approvals times go down, 75%. Like the math doesn't calculate in my head. But anyways, you guys, if you guys are thinking about getting a suppressor, I've been hanging out at the gun shop and hearing other people's waiting times and everything. We're in the Oregon area, and everything I'm hearing is like 3 days. We're showing my buddy, some of these, and he was asking, hey, where's the best place to buy them? Wherever, if you guys are in the Portland area, go down to Adaptive Firing Solutions in Oregon City. They have a bunch of suppressors still. They stocked up big time. And so my buddy went down there yesterday, Saturday, and bought his first suppressor. And he was very excited. He was excited to find that shop. And he texted me back instantly. He's like, man, they have a bunch of suppressors. That place is awesome, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, so it would be interesting to see how long his wait time is. So let's get out to the shooting range, guys. And we're going to do some back-to-back comparisons with these and see if we can notice a difference in the sound. Let's get out to the range and see what we come up with. If you guys have any guesses, put them in the comments before we see the differences.
All right, folks, out here on location. You can see it's a little cold up here. We're shooting some Winchester Wildcat. Never shot these before in 22, so we're going to try the same ammo on both suppressors and see if we can tell a difference. And so I'm just going to put 10 rounds in, go through this, and then we'll put the other suppressor on, see if we can hear a difference. This is way louder. I can tell by the first shot it's way louder. Failure to feed. All right. Dang, that sucks. Wait till you hear the other one, dude. All right, folks, back to the Otter Creek Lab 30 cal suppressor. We were just looking at that ammo. It's rated at 1,300 feet per second. So there's a slight possibility it might be cracking the sound barrier, but we're going to see if there's much of a difference. I have some other ammo we'll try. Maybe that crack is the sound barrier being broken. That's what we're hearing or whatever. So let's try this. What do you think? A little quieter, isn't it? So we're going to try the CCI. This is rated at 970 feet per second. And we're going to clear it up right here. That's the fastest ammo I've shot through this gun, too. I don't think I've been above 1,200 or like, I think 1,260 is the Stinger rounds or something, maybe. I don't know. Okay, so CCI, 970, 30 cal suppressor. Quieter? Yeah. I think so. And that magazine cycled perfect. So, all right, let's try this ammo on that. I guess the real test would be to shoot this in the garage. Then we could really get a sound difference. All right, folks, back to the 22 cal suppressor, Lone Star, with the slower ammo. See what we get here. Dude, that's definitely louder. Now the first shot is always louder because there's oxygen in the suppressors in between the baffles. So after the first shot, the other shots following are supposed to get quieter, and you can kind of hear that with this a little bit. But this is still louder, dude. Definitely louder. All right, folks, so there you go. You're buying your first suppressor and you like to suppress 22s, go with the 30 cal suppressor, a larger one like this, because it's actually quieter than a dedicated 22 suppressor, which was kind of surprising that there was that much of a difference. So, ugh, now I want a big 22 suppressor. Yeah, that one, the 30 cal was like 550, 560, and that one was 350. So, and the 22 was on sale, so it's closer to 400.